You're listening to Top 4, a new series presented by the GamePitch podcast.
Join hosts Brandon and Eli as they build gaming Mount Rushmores every week.
Enjoy topics that range from the best multiplayer types to the top bug Pokemon.
Catch fresh episodes of Top 4 every Wednesday on the Project Nerd Network.
And don't miss new episodes of the GamePitch podcast, dropping every Monday morning.
Let's get ready to rank.
Hello and welcome to the Top 4 More podcast, brought to you by GamePitch on the Project Nerd Gaming Network. This week, we're doing the Top 4 More thing like we do. Brandon, how are you?
I am fantastic, Elijah. How are you?
I'm fun. I'm fun and fantastic as well. I did the picking last time, so you're the picker of the old pitch this time, pal. If you've never listened before, we rank video game things going from number 4 to number 1, revealing our, favorite things of whatever video game topic we're talking about that week. Last week, I picked some Sonic nonsense. This week, Brandon, what did you pick?
Elijah, I picked fast travel.
I want to try and guess what I think the reason is for this.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you know, but we'll go over. Yeah, lay it on me.
Recently, you got married in a state that is not your home state.
Correct.
From these places. So you were like in your head, like, why can't I just fast travel in the real world? This is bullshit. Like,
factually that. Also, it was like right before right after I returned and I was like dead from driving 12 hours straight. And I was like, I'm going to put on Star Wars Episode 3 for, whatever. I like Star Wars Episode 3. And they had the Jedi Starfighter. They like lock into this little circular ring thing, and then they jump to light speed. And I was like, man, that's cool. And that's really what made me start thinking about fast travel. I was like, I wish I had one of those like 12 hours ago. But yeah, this is obviously, if this is your first time listening, if you've listened before, you've heard me say this before, but we don't really discuss rules or criteria as far as our lists go when we give each other what we're talking about. This was the first time that when I told Elijah the list, I said, yeah, that's really vague. So if you need a little bit more, just let me know. Cause yeah, this one is a little out there, a little weird, a little funky.
I think that I understand where, so there's only one on my list that I think you might look at me and go, that's bullshit, sir. And then, yeah, so I'm thinking that, actually there's kind of two that are almost exactly in line like that. So we'll see. I guess it's hard to say what does fast travel mean to you, or like I guess it just saves you time, right? It's like you get to scroll Twitter because you don't have to ride your horse in Red Dead Redemption across a whole 20-yard field for 2 hours or whatever.
Yeah. It's a give and a take for sure, right? Like, I think fast travel is hard to really nail, and I'll get a little bit deeper into that as we explore each other's lists. Man, that came out so much more sexual than I thought it would. Anyways, as we explore each other's lists, I'll talk about things that I think make for a good fast travel system, things that make for a bad fast travel system. And things of that nature. But overall, I think fast travels are hard to really get right. When a game includes fast travel, I usually tend to enjoy that.
Yeah, I think it's actually hard to have good fast travel as well, because most of the time it's just like a loading screen. Most of the time it is in open world games more traditionally than other video games as well. So it's, I guess... Yeah, because I don't want to class, because I'm trying to think of other games that didn't make my list, and it's hard to classify fast travel because sometimes it's just like a loading zone thing, or it's like an elevator thing. So some games have fast travel, but it's not really fast travel, and there's things in games that can be looked at as fast travel, like the bullet trains in Jedi Fallen Order that go places, but those really just take you back to the beginning area to make it easier for you after you've progressed all the way through the dungeon. So it's is that fast travel? Not necessarily, because maybe we'll define it as fast travel depending on where you land with your list.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, again, it's kind of hard to classify. It's kind of hard to determine what may not be a fast travel, but in general,
a dumb micro example.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Slow travel is Link walking around the field of Hylia. Fast travel is him walking or going around the field on Epona. Like, you know what I mean? That's not what
Yeah.
I did, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. That is technically a faster form of travel.
Okay. Did you have honorables?
Yeah, I've got a couple honorables, couple talking points before we really get into the list. So this one actually makes both my honorable and my dishonorable, which that's a first. We got y'all hear that? We got a top 4 and more first.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. I'm ready to explore it with you.
Oh, all right. So it's actually going to be the subway system from Spider-Man,
Okay.
Marvel's Spider-Man, and obviously Miles Morales as well. Um, I think the thing that I really enjoy about it, the thing that makes it an honorable mention, is that it's very grounded in the world that's built, right? Like, obviously, riding the subway in New York is huge. Like, that's just what people do there. And it's cool that you get that nice little loading screen with, Spider Man riding the subway. It's kind of funny. On the other hand, adversely, the reason why I mention it as a dishonorable as well is because I mean, why would you do that when you can just swing? Like, the traversal system in that game is so much fun that I think a fast travel system was completely unnecessary.
Okay. Okay. So that's an honorable and a dishonorable for you. All right. I feel you.
Yeah. And then the only other dishonorable I have, and this is more of like an archetype, I guess, of fast travel. But I will point out 2 specific examples of this fast travel system being used. One is going to be The Witcher 3, and the other one is going to be Red Dead Redemption 2. And the archetype is just really any kind of fast travel system where you have to go to a location so that you can fast travel. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to travel somewhere so that I can travel somewhere else. It's just let me open up my map, let me click on a little icon and just magically be there.
I don't know if I have that same gripe. I think I don't. There actually might even be things on my list that are like that now that I think about it. But I do see what you're saying. Where like having to go somewhere is kind of like whack in a way. All right. Do you have any other honorables, or is that all?
That is going to be it for me. How about you, good sir?
Well, sir, I kind of try to do this thing because the way that I've grown up, or like the episodes we've done in the past, we've talked a lot about Mario and Zelda. So I put those both as honorable mentions, specifically Mario Odyssey, because it is one of the few Mario games with a fast travel system. I love the idea of like throwing the cap and then like it landing on one of the little poles in any of the open world like levels. I'm a really big fan of that. I think it's cute. I think it's neat. And then, of course, in Zelda games, like just using the ocarina to travel places is sick. Like it just is.
Yeah. Majora's Mask, I think especially really nailed that.
And not every game has that same thing, because like sometimes you need Pharaoh's Wind to travel, but like in a majority of Zelda games, you can use your ocarina, play a song, and travel to different like hot spots of the map. So I just want to give a shout out to those two.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Is that going to be it as far as your honorables and dishonorables?
It is, sir. Give me your 4.
Ooh, darn tootin', my number 4 is Skyrim.
Okay, describe that fast travel system to me and the listeners.
Yeah, so actually, I'm glad that you asked me to. I mean, you would have anyways, but so again, this is kind of more of like an archetype of fast travel that I kind of have classified in my head, right? And I said Skyrim, but it's really more of like a Bethesda type fast travel system, and it has the thing that I was just complaining about in my dishonorable is completely taken out, right? Once you've been to a location in the world of Skyrim or in the world of Fallout or whatever Bethesda game you may be playing, I guess not all Bethesda games, but Bethesda open world games, once you've been to a certain place and that icon is on your map, you can just fast travel there, man. You can just pop open that map, just click the button twice, and then hit a loading screen and you're there.
That sounds like overly convenient almost.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't get me wrong, like I love me some Skyrim. I occasionally enjoy me some Fallout as well. But if I had to trudge across those maps manually consistently without the fast travel system, I would not enjoy those games nearly as much as I do, especially because like fetch quests are a thing. And like, man, like, first of all, who likes fetch quests? Nobody. And second of all, like, it's just, yeah, I don't know. Well, now we're going on a whole side quest about fetch quests and why they're terrible. But I digress. It's, I agreed. Like, it's overly convenient and it's magic and there's no explanation to it and it just works.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's one of the things that maybe irks me the most is like when there's not like a real good reason within the lore for it to exist.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think mostly my list avoids that, and it's mostly like tangible things in the world or like something tied to magic or something else.
Yeah. Okay. I can get down on that. Well, speaking of your list, let's hear your number 4.
My numero 4 is the Vita Chambers from BioShock. Now, the interesting thing about these is like you're kind of like tied death-wise, proximity-wise to the last Vita Chamber you were near. And then like when you get to new areas, it's almost like a checkpoint and it becomes your new way station of where you spawn at. So it's not necessarily a fast travel, but it does anchor you in the map on where you spawn. So that was like something like, because it's not always like you always spawn in the same area. It's like you spawn at these new checkpoint flags, and it's, I don't know, it's better than, because okay, so let's just say you die before you get to the next Vita chamber in the next section, you have to go all the way back, you know what I mean, to the original Vita chamber you had. So it's this like progression for me. So that's why I kind of put it here as a fast travel, and I thought you would call BS.
Yeah, that's BS. That, my friend, is what we in the industry call a checkpoint.
Fine, whatever. Go with the freaking flags in Mario or checkpoint.
You
Whatever.
travel from being dead to not being dead. And that in itself, I'm sure, is quite the journey. So you know what? I'll give you that.
All right, what's your number 3 then?
My number 3, and I'm going to apologize in advance. You know, usually when we make these lists, I like to put a bit of research into what's going to be on my list. I like to be knowledgeable on the subject. I want to make sure that I don't sound like an idiot on the internet, because we live in a day and age where all of human knowledge is at our fingertips and ignorance is willful. But I'm willfully being a dumb bitch here, and it's going to be fast travel from BioShock. And this is, again, kind of one of those things where like I don't know if it would technically classify as like fast travel, because my understanding of BioShock, the series, which I have never played, is that you've got like your hub on the Normandy, and you go to all these different planets, which are like your levels.
You mean Mass Effect? You said BioShock.
Did I say BioShock? I meant Mass Effect.
You were thinking BioWare, which is the creators of the game. That's
Yeah.
why I was like, wait, you just called bullshit on me saying BioShock. Now you're saying BioShock? Okay, so you're talking Mass Effect.
Apologies. Yes, Mass Effect. Sorry. Mass Effect. Anyways, right. So you get your hub world, like the Normandy, and then you go to the different planets, which are like the different levels or whatever, right? And it isn't so much the convenience of like, zipping across galaxies or whatever, or I've seen like the menu that you get where you like fly the little ship around like the little solar system.
Mhm.
It's actually just the cutscene where you have the big ship and it's got like the thing inside of it and it like charges you up and then like zips you out. I just really like that. That's the only reason that Mass Effect made the list.
Yeah, it's the load screen where the Normandy is dropping the Mako. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, like when they're dropping you in the little like Humvee thing. Or like
No,
just
no, no, no. It's like the big old spaceship, the big spaceship with like the white like energy core.
Oh yes, the Citadel. Gotcha. I know what you're talking about now. Yes, that's really
Yeah,
cool.
and you like fly by it and like it zaps you with its energy or whatever, and you light speed right there.
Those are just like the Star Wars things you were talking about. Those little things that let you go light speed. They're called relays in Mass Effect. So yeah, you're right.
Again, I normally would have researched that, but I specifically didn't because I thought that it would like irk you, and it clearly didn't, which is a little upsetting. But that's life for you, I guess.
Hey man, I'm living a very like just only good vibes over here in 2021. You know what I'm saying? Only good vibes.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's my number 3. Elijah, I would like to hear yours.
My number 3 is from Borderlands. It's I don't even know what they're called, but I just like the idea that it kind of like digitizes you, and it's like this digital like way station, and it can teleport you. What are they called? Do you know?
Oh man, I sure don't.
But you know what I'm talking about. The things that help you
Yeah,
fast travel in in Borderlands. And I thought in Borderlands you actually have to go to them. I think in the earlier games you had to go to them to travel. I didn't think you could just do it from anywhere on the map, because don't you have to like drive over or walk over to one and then you can travel to places?
I believe that is correct.
Mhm.
It's been a hot minute since I've played Borderlands. I want to say that they changed that for
In 3,
Borderlands
right?
3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think that it's like that in 2 and 1. Yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly where my head was at, but I didn't know.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's that's a decent fast travel system. And to your point earlier, it does have like some grounding in the lore. Cuz they have like factual like teleporter satellites all over the planet.
Yeah, and like I keep trying to remember the name, but all I can think of is Catch a Ride, but that's the cars, not the
Yeah, me too. Me too. Immediately I
that's
was like
the whole
catch a
thing.
ride, but no.
Catch a Ride, but it's not what they're called. They don't. It's not those. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your number 2, pal?
My number 2 is Fly from Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that. It's definitely rooted in the lore because you have to have a Pokemon that can fly to do it.
Exactly. And oh man, now that I think about it, there was a game where there was like a almost like a mini game, if I remember correctly, when you use Fly, where you get to like actually like do some of the flying. Am I talking crazy right now?
I don't remember that. No.
I might be crazy. But in any case, yeah, it's yeah. There it's just look, man, I've always wanted a dragon. I'm that Rick and Morty episode. I'm Morty in that episode. I just really want a dragon. I think that would be a magical experience, and again, like Morty, my dragon, we'd be on the same level. We'd be best friends. It wouldn't be like I'm his master or anything. It'd be me and my Charizard. We're buddies.
Equal
We're flying,
partnership. Yeah.
yeah, flying through the air, getting where we need to go. We have to have been there before, of course, because Google Maps doesn't exist in the Pokemon world, I guess, and Pokemon probably wouldn't be able to use it anyways. But anyway, I digress. It's Fly from Pokemon. It's grounded in the lore. It's convenient because you get to go. You get to do it from any point. You don't have to travel anywhere to be able to use it. And that's
So
my number 3.
I want to say that it's kind of grounded in the lore because there's no way that a Butterfree is carrying my fat ass to like 5 towns over. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not happening.
Yeah.
Especially like because there are some Pokemon that are technically flying Pokemon that you're just like, I guess like Gust can do so much damage because so it has the wing strength, I guess, but just like physically, like Q to fly or whatever, right? Like there's no way that thing technically it can learn fly, and it's a flying Pokemon, right? Bug flying, I think. Maybe not. But
Yeah.
basically, there are flying Pokemon, or there are Pokemon that aren't flying Pokemon that can learn fly as well. And like, there's some Pokemon that don't make sense for fly. Because Dragonite, definitely that thing can fly.
Yeah.
Definitely, could carry a few people, the whole party, but not a no, not a. I don't even think a Spearow or a Pidgey could carry my fat ass across the towns.
Yeah, no, like definitely. Like even if you factor in like just like wing strength or whatever, I don't know, just logistically, like where are you gonna sit? Like what are you gonna hold on to? Yeah, I see what you're saying. That's a fair point that I hadn't thought of. Also, I called that my number 3 pick. It's definitely my number 2 pick, so apologies about that.
How dare you, sir? With that, you want to hear my number 2?
I sure do.
This might be your number 1. It's the little like in between lore tunnels from God of War.
The Bifrost, yeah, definitely not my number 1.
Okay, well, yeah, I thought that was because we talked about fast travel, it being really hard to like quantify a good fast travel, but I really like the fast travel in God of War because not only does it give the player something to do, not just read text on a loading screen, not just watch some motion graphic move back and forth, like in Mass Effect, like just seeing the ship on the loading screen kind of moving through space is kind of cool, but ultimately it's just like a GIF essentially. But the really cool thing in God of War is when you're fast traveling, you open up these like portals and you're like traveling on these branches of the world tree, I think, in the Bifrost or whatever. And then there's bits of lore that you don't get in the outside world of the game that you only get, like dialogue you only get during the fast travel, which is really cool to me.
I very much appreciate how interactive it is as well, because you have to grab the whatever and turn it so that it's open to the correct realm as well. I very much wish that this was my number one. It's definitely not, but yeah, I guess I didn't even think about this one as a fast travel system, just because the yeah, I guess how you navigate through that entire game is very much the same, except like the boat, obviously, of course, but yeah, I don't know. I guess just in my head, it didn't click that. Yeah, that's you're traveling between realms. That's I like that is a solid pick, my friend.
And that's only my number 2, baby.
Oh, I can't wait to hear number one, even though it's probably gonna be some BS.
It's gonna be some BS for sure. What's your number 1, pal?
My number one, it's Breath of the Wild, dude. It's convenient. It's grounded in lore. It's it's perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better fast travel system in that game.
So since I am number 1 shitter honor of Breath of the Wild, can you tell me what the fast travel system is in that game? Because I played it on the Wii U and I can't even remember what it was.
You can go anywhere that you've been before, and you've put your Sheikah Slate in a thing. So yeah, you can fast travel to any of the shrines or any
Okay.
of the towers.
Gotcha.
And that was really what did it for me, like the shrines. If you played the game like a normal person might play the game, and not a uh, obsessive compulsive person like myself who has to do everything immediately when I see it. It was just cool because you could walk up to a shrine, put your little Sheikah slate in it, and activate it so that you could travel there. But you don't have to do the shrine right then and there. Like you could just go on your merry way, continue your adventure, go fight rocks and shit. I don't know.
Go
But
fight.
yeah, I mean, there was just, I mean, you factually fight rocks in that game, but it's convenient. It's grounded in lore, right? It's the Sheikah Slate technology that allows you to do it. There's so many fast travel points for you to go to. Like I never found myself wishing that I could travel closer to a place. Like once I had been there, it's just it's good stuff, man. I couldn't have asked for a better fast travel system.
I mean, yeah, there's like 120 shrines, so there's lots of options.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, there's the towers too. So, yeah, lots of. And I think now that you mention it, I do really like that they give you that glider like right away. And when you go to those towers, because you can just like keep refreshing and keep going to the towers to glide where you need to go, or like to like just the gliding is really fun. Like it just because of the big beautiful world they've built, the gliding is probably one of the most like tranquil things in gaming and just enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. No, and to your point on the towers and how you can, just like keep refreshing that, keep doing that. Yeah, I mean, I think that this game balances especially well. Like, okay, how do we take out the act of exploration without it taking away from exploration being such a monumental piece of this game, right? Like for Skyrim, like if I'm fast traveling somewhere that I've been before and I'm skipping over miles and miles of land that I haven't explored, like I really don't care. But, in Breath of the Wild, obviously like we have the towers, you've got this area where you can see, however far you can see, and I don't know, it doesn't there's no penalty for fast traveling. I guess is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, it doesn't take away from the game.
Yeah, I was going to say that it enriches the exploration
Yeah.
because like you can go to the tower and then you can spot a shrine off in the distance and go fly to that, or like it gives you those headers or those headings on where you want to head next, or like it kind of intrigues your exploration rather than takes away from it. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. It's that's enough about Breath of the Wild, though. I'll keep talking about it. Y'all know I will. So Elijah, what's your number one?
I think this might be another first for the show. Your honorable mention was my number 1.
Oh, okay.
Spider-Man in the subways with the people, doing tricks, flipping, just hanging out with
Yeah.
people. And I think in opposition to what you said earlier, I think the reason that I like it is like I understand you as a player, how you would want to swing around more, and that's way better for you and more enjoyable. But I think as Peter Parker or as Miles Morales, they're both like young kids that like need to eat too much food because they're burning so much calories. So I really like the idea of them just like being on the subway and relaxing. But then like it also informs their character even more that like, you know, Miles is like taking selfies with people. He's doing backflips. He's dancing with the musicians. Like it just makes me believe the character more and like the world more. And also like I just love the idea of like a superhero not being above riding the subway because ultimately Peter and Miles are poor, or like they're not like poor, but you know what I mean? Like they're not well off. So
Yeah.
like they're not taking private cars or like Ubers anywhere. They're just like, yeah, I'm just going to ride the subway like any good New Yorker. So
Yeah.
it makes me feel like the world is more real.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, you know, I said it was grounded in the world that was built, but um, yeah, I think that that does a disservice to what they built in those games, right? Like it definitely does add to the world building of, you know, superheroes in New York, man.
Yeah, it adds to what you would expect a superhero in New York would have or would be doing.
What a poor superhero in New York would be doing.
Which is like almost everyone but Tony Stark and like Doctor Strange, because he gets to live rent free in a sanctum because they're like, protect this bra.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, exactly. That's any final thoughts on fast travel?
Nah, man, we're gonna quickly get out of this episode because my tummy is a grumbly. I'm real Winnie the Pooh over here. I'm hungry town. I need to eat something.
About to fast travel to the kitchen.
Fast travel some pizza into my gullet is what I'm going to do. Check us out on projectnerd.com. They keep the lights on. Oh, you can find the podcast on many podcast places, but you just got to search Project Nerd Gaming, and that's where you'll find the goodness of the pod. You can find Brandon at Mr. Snow97 on Twitter. I'm at Mario RPGino. Thank you so much for listening. Brandon, take us away.
Thank you so much for listening to my stupid opinions. I hope to see you here, same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.